Ito ang Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang naiiba at kakaibang plataporma sa digital broadcast. Mula Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao hanggang sa iba't ibang dako ng mundo. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, ang sandigan ng sambayanan mula sa walang labis at walang kulang na pagbabalita, paglilingkod, maglalahad ng mga mapagbuong komentaryo at usaping pambayan para sa kapakanan ng karamihan. Broad Stream Cast Communicators, tuwirang maglilingkod ngayon hanggang sa susunod na henerasyon. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Ating tunghayan, pakinggan at tuklasin ang mga pangyayari at kaganapan sa mundo ng online. Buhay Online, Chikahan at kaalamang pangkabuhayan. Alamin ang pinaka-latest trends mula sa trabaho at kung hanggang saan na ang narating ng teknolohiyang ito. At ngayon, narito na ang ating host, ang ating Techiemommy, si Jaye C. Bautista.
Hello everyone! Happy Wednesday! Magandang umaga po. Pleasant good morning to everyone. It's a Wednesday, January 12 na po. Halos kalahati na ng January ang sumulong, no? Into the new year. Okay? This is the second week of the new year, 2022. And of course, still trending is of course the surge of the Omicron virus all over the world. At yung pagka-coin ng pagsabi na there's a Deltacron virus because nag-overlap na yung virus po all over the world, nag-abot-abot na, no? Pero like what I was saying, you know, most of the hospitalizations are COVID patients with Delta. Kasi nga po, no, hindi naman masaya na sabihin na mild lang yung symptoms or yung effects ng na-infect ng Omicron. It's still, of course, a cause for concern dahil ayaw po nating magkaroon ng COVID. Whether it's Delta, Alpha, Delta, whatever, Omicron, the thing is we don't want to get sick with it because different strokes for different folks, iba-iba nga yung effect nito, especially to those with existing conditions or comorbidities. But of course, you know, we are thankful na of course because most of the people all over the world are vaccinated, and of course we have to attribute yung madaling paggaling ng mga na-infect ng COVID dun sa pagiging bakunado natin, right? And that's why if you haven't been vaccinated, please go get your vaccination done, please, because it really helps. I am speaking from experience. I am speaking from a place na very close because I had COVID. My entire family had COVID. It's just like three of us. My partner, my fiancée Jenny, and my child, you know, got COVID last year. I'd like to welcome our friends to the show. I can't see the names. I just see hearts floating by. Welcome po sa ating programa. First things first, okay? First things first, of course, news around the Philippines, diba, na hack yung Department of Education website, okay? The Department of Education website was hacked po. And CHED Chairman J. Prospero de Vera, in an advisory dated January 10, said that as mandated in previous interagency task force resolutions and CHED issuances, HEIS located in areas under level 2, ito muna, no? Sabihin ko na muna tungkol dun sa, because I was talking about COVID, sorry, pasensya na. nakita ko kasi yung violator na na-hack yung Department of Education na website. Opo, di ba? Sinabi ko na yan kahapon. Ini-investigate nila at saka sinabi kong saan galing, kung sino yung nag-hack. Pinakita ko pa yung kanilang pangalan. But anyway, ito namang COMELEC on higher education. We're talking about limited face-to-face classes, okay? Because somebody asked about that, to talk about daw yung face-to-face, we already talked about yung result niyan, yung nag-survey doon sa mga nag-attend ng in-person classes, very positive po ang feedback because natuwa naman po sila na nakapag-attend sila ng eskwela face-to-face, right? And in connection to that, okay, ito naman yung limited in-person classes po. Okay, ito ho. Yan, in connection to that, sabi ng COMELEC on higher education, limited in-person classes in alert level 3 areas may begin, okay? May begin on January 31, okay? So, magandang balita po yan. Doon po sa mga alert areas na ang alert level po ay mababa, of course. Yes, that is the news about that. So, alert level 2 po. May start offering limited face-to-face classes for all degree programs as soon as they are ready. Okay? CHED Chairman J. Prospero de Vera III in CHED COVID-19 Advisory Number 9 dated January 10 said that as mandated in previous Interagency Task Force IATF resolutions, okay, alert level 2 areas may start limited classes anytime. All right? Siyempre, provided that the schools are ready. It means yung all the safety and health protocols being followed. Hello there, Miss Angelica Paz. A blessed morning, a blessed Wednesday morning to you. And I'm so glad that you are well. Miss Angelica is a survivor too of COVID. Sa'yo ba ay Omicron, Miss Angelica? Mild case ba, no? I think you also quarantined from the house like I did. So, welcome to the show. And of course, I'm glad that you are well, that you have gotten well. Very good. So, again, going back to what I was saying, okay, CHED Prospero, excuse me, see my gosh, my computer is acting up. Chairman Prospero de Vera III, okay, said that the application to CHED is not a requirement for the conduct of the limited face-to-face classes. De Vera stressed that HEIS is intending to hold limited face-to-face classes during the COVID-19 pandemic and must be willing to assume the responsibilities for the reopening of the campuses based on their capability to comply, syempre, with the health and safety protocols para ma-retrofit yung mga facilities, para mahanda lahat na nakaayos lahat sa classrooms at saka yung mga social distancing areas, yung mga washing areas, saka kung saan disinfect, and to get support of the stakeholders on that, okay? The HEI, he added, must also notify the concerned CHED regional office through submission of the accomplished self-assessment checklist and notarized affidavit of undertaking before the start date of the limited face-to-face classes. For clustering of COVID-19 cases, the preventive suspension of limited face-to-face classes shall be based on the assessment and decision of the Crisis Management Committee or CMC of the HEI in consultation with the local task force against COVID-19. Itong sinabi ni De Vera, okay? Sinabi pa niya, in-announce din niya that the phase 2 of the implementation of limited face-to-face classes for all programs of HEIs in areas under alert level 3 would only be allowed beginning January 2022. Okay? Ano mo itong mga ads eh. Kaloka itong ang internet natin talaga, di ba? Inundated with ads. Kaloka. right? Okay, so uh, areas with alert level 3 would only be allowed beginning January 31. Okay? So yan yung balita tungkol doon, right? And on that note, okay, tapos patuloy din tayo usap tungkol sa enforce because of this news, okay? Uh, around the globe, of course, the Philippines muna to, how technology is being used in the medical world, of course, and then with regards to treating COVID-19 at paano pupuksain ito, okay, sa tulong ng teknolohiya, okay? Siyempre, we are talking about the latest breakthroughs also in the medical world and news regarding uh, the vaccines or medicine to control and get rid of this COVID-19. The Food and Drug Administration, actually the FDA, has granted a compassionate special permit or CSP for coronavirus disease COVID-19 drug Bexovid. Okay? Ito yung Bexovid. 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 Bexovid, which is actually the generic version of Pfizer's COVID-19 pill Paxlovid. Diba? Kasi meron ng COVID-19 pill ang Paxlovid. Hindi pa tayo nakakabili yata dito sa Pilipinas. Mr. President, na-approve po ng FDA ang application ng DOH Department of Health para sa Compassionate Special Permit Institutional Use para maging accessible ang unang generic version ng Paxlovid. Translated, Mr. President, the FDA has approved the application of the DOH or the Department of Health for a compassionate special permit institutional use to make the first generic version of Paxlovid accessible, said FDA officer in charge Oscar Gutierrez on Monday night, January 10. President Duterte's public address po, doon po sa kanyang public address, okay? Yung Paxlovid po ay yung world's first generic version of the US FDA-approved Pfizer's Paxlovid. Yun pong Bexovid, okay? Ang generic version. This will make this, the DOH or the Department of Health will make this accessible and available to government hospitals first once the BioCare Life Science Inc. will deliver this to them. He added, okay? This COVID-19 treatment is a combination of nirmatrelvir and ritonavir. Combination ito ng nirmatrelvir at saka ritonavir. Siguro naman mas mura to kasi diba alam natin na yung mga na-hospital na naka-COVID, napakamahal po ng gamot. In the thousands po ang mga gamot na to bawat intravenous na paglagay. Thousands and thousands. At saka that's why na nga, diba ho, nagkakahalaga. Mahina na po ang 300 to 500,000 na ma-hospital ka with COVID. Right? Like I said po, yung kinuwento ko sa inyo last time, my nephew here in Pampanga, he contracted COVID, and then ito, sasabihin ko na talaga, yung hospital, the Green City Hospital, asked him for a bond of 1 million pesos bago sila tanggapin sa hospital. Tapos i-offset na lang daw kung ano magagastos na at hindi matcha-charge. It was really ridiculous, right? Hindi ka walang hospital bed siguro, pero for the price is right, dito sa Pampanga, nagkakaroon, right? But anyway, tsaka yun pa po, makikita mo rin sa bill, pag na-hospitalize po kayo, i-check nyo po yung mga items sa bill nyo because imagine that PPE, yung PPE po yung talaga yung mga suit nila, body suit na sinacharge po sa pasyente 10,000 a day. Can you imagine that? Mas mahal pa sa kwarto mo na tinutuluyan. Oh well, for some reason, diba, COVID-19 has become a business, so to speak. Okay, so again, okay, going back to this medicines, okay, itong Bexovid, okay, is the world's first generic version of the US FDA approved Paxlovid, okay? Tapos, sabi nila, it is a combination daw of nirmatrelvir and ritonavir. This should be taken twice a day for 5 days. Napakamahal-mahal. It is for patients aged 12 and above, okay, and mild to moderate COVID-19 infection, sabi ni Gutierrez. The said COVID-19 pill was found to be effective in reducing the risk of hospitalization or death. Itong sinabi ng Department of Health Undersecretary Leopoldo Vega. Okay? Na-examine at na-research doon sa Pfizer sa USA. Nakita nila sa data nila, okay, lahat ng mga pasyenteng nabigyan po nag-reduce ang kanilang hospitalization and death to about 90%. It was examined and researched by Pfizer in the USA. They found in their data that on all the patients who were given it, it reduced their hospitalization and death to about 90%. Said Vega and during the kanyang press briefing on Tuesday, kahapon po, January 11. In other words po, no, yun po, nung tinest sa Pfizer itong Bexcovid, okay, it was found out that it reduced nga the hospital, ang kanilang nabigyan po nito, yung mga pasyenteng nabigyan nito, na-reduce ang kanilang pagpapa-hospital, tsaka ang death rate. So about, imagine that, 90%, okay? Which reminds me to the way I'm speaking, okay? When I'm speaking Taglish, I remember back some few years ago when I was in the States working and living in America, my boss before, you know, sometimes I would talk on the phone to relatives and friends, and he was like staring at me amazed and said, "It's amazing how you can switch in your brain English, Filipino, because I was speaking Taglish, right? Natatawa yung boss ko noon. Sabi, paano mo nagagawa yan na interspersed daw English and Tagalog, you know? Di ba magaling tayo mag-Taglish, di ba? Kaya natin yan gawin. But anyway, so naalala ko lang because I'm translating while also narrating, okay? In English and Filipino. Anyway, so 90% yung nabababa yung hospitalization rate sa paggamit nitong mga bagong COVID-19 pills, particularly Bexcovid. So sana sooner than later ay maging available na dito ang Bexcovid, right? Pero kamustahin kaya natin kung magkano ang pagbenta nito, because I will know that hospitalization na, like I said, yung medicines are so high, mahal, okay? All right. So, mga balita regarding face-to-face classes, okay? But, all right. So, pasensya na kasi nag-hang yung aking computer. Okay. More of technology in the Philippines and how it's affecting our lives, okay? Of course, yun na nga yung sinabi ko, yung pinakita ko kanina. Yan. Limited in-person classes, okay? Sa mga low alert level areas, okay? So, January 31 po mag-uumpisa. Alright? Okay. So, ngayon naman, pag-usapan natin yung tungkol sa internet na tong House Panel, okay, SRAPS versus ex-DICT chief, okay? Okay? Ano ba tong story behind this? Hold on a second. Let me just remove this, okay? Set it aside. Tapos na natin ito pag-usapan. Okay, let's talk about the free internet indictment case against, let's find out, against Rio, I think. House panel recommends RAPS versus ex-DICT executive over free internet program. Ano nangyari, right? Ayan, this is my headline, right? There you go. Okay. Yeah. So, ano yan? Anong ibig sabihin ito? Anong kaguluhan ito, right? The House Committee on Good Governance and Public Accountability recommended Tuesday the filing of charges against former Department of Information and Communications Undersecretary Eliseo Rio, okay, over alleged negligence in the implementation of the free internet program. Okay? Yun pala naman. Sa isang report, nirekomenda ng committee that appropriate charges be filed against Rio for the violations of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act and the Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials and Employees over the alleged irregularities in the implementation of the Free Public Internet Access Program. Ito yung pagkakaroon natin sana ng libre na internet. Kasi di ba ibang bansa, libre naman yung internet, like sa China, right? I remember going to China, at kahit saan sa kalye, may internet naman, you know? Diba? Libreng Wi-Fi. The committee said that the partnership between the DICT and the United Nations Development Program, or UNDP, to implement the program was not the best option. Rio was the signatory to the DICT-UNDP financing agreement. Ano bang ibig sabihin ng DICT? Sandali nga. Because I keep saying acronyms without saying what it means, right? Okay. DICT is Department of Information and Communications Technology. Okay. Department of Information and Communications Technology po. Alright? Okay. Yan po. Rio kasi ang signatories to the DICT UNDP financing agreement. Okay, the partnership with UNDP, okay, pag-usapan natin yan. According to the committee, the DICT committed non-feasance when it transferred the management of the funds for the People Connect project, which is one of the aspects of the FPI-AP, to the UNDP. Further, okay, the committee said that the DICT committed misfeasance when it entered into the financing agreement with the UNDP for the implementation of the FPI-AP when the DICT could have resorted to procurement on its own, okay? For context, kunyari, noong 2018, yung DICT at yung UNDP entered into a financing agreement aimed at rolling out free Wi-Fi sites at selected locations to benefit remote communities. So, yan. Diba? Makakatulong sana yun siguro dun sa distance learning at online education. Kung nangyari. So ano bang talaga nangyari? The DICT did not take part in the bidding and selection of UNDP suppliers and service providers. Speedcast, an Australian company, was the winning bidder for the first two phases of the program, while PLDT Inc. was the awardee for the third phase. Rio and the committee report stressed the legality of the DICT-UNDP agreement, saying it was based on the Standard Basic Assistance Agreement, or SBAA, between the UNDP and yung Philippine government. Okay? Citing clause number 1, article 2 of the SBAA, Rio said that assistance may be made available, but the UNDP to the government upon requesting, consisting, among others, of services of advisory experts and consultants, okay? Equipment and supplies, ayan po ang extent, and any other forms of assistance or form of execution which may be agreed upon by the government and UNDP. The House Committee, however, said that SBAA was permissive and that yung DICT ay dapat sinunod niya yung Free and Internet Access in Public Places Act. Okay? Hindi niya yun ginawa. The committee acknowledges the assistance rendered by the UNDP to the Philippine government in several of its programs. Sorry. Oh my God. Masipa ko yung aking ring light. Pasensya, live. Nasalo ko naman. Okay? So, yun nga. The committee acknowledges, yung assistance ang pagtulong ng UNDP to the Philippine government in several of its programs. However, it should be noted that the SBAA is permissive, that the DICT is not obliged, to seek UNDP assistance to conduct the procurement for the PFIAP. sinabi ng committee na under the Free Internet Access in Public Places Act, yung DICT should have undertaken the creation, establishment, installation, maintenance, and operation of the infrastructure equipment systems, okay? Platforms, applications, and such other FPIAP requirements necessary to effectively provide free internet sa public spaces dito sa ating bansa. Needless to say ko na, these mandates, okay, require the active participation ng department, okay? It requires the active participation of the Department of Information and Communications Technology. Dapat lang naman, diba? Aha. Sandali lang kasi. Alright? Dapat lang naman talaga na involved, alright? Because kailangan ng active participation ng DICT to ensure that the law is effectively and efficiently implemented, di ba? Dapat lang. The committee said that by transferring the implementation of the People Connect, ano ba, people ba to? Bakit naging people? People Connect project, di ba people yun? People Connect project yan. Okay? Diba kahit nasa news, mayroon pa rin typo, yung dapat pinoproofread. Okay, the committee said that transferring the implementation of People Connect project to UNDP, including the procurement of the services of the contractor, the DICT lost its authority over the contractor and its operations. Sabi naman niya, according to Rio, okay, connected to that news, okay, former Department of Information and Communications, DICT, Undersecretary Eliseo Reo is questioning why he is being blamed for the alleged irregularities in the government's free internet program. Bakit daw siyang sinisisi, right? Bakit nga ba? Even while he also said he is ready to face charges. Sabi niya, how could I be blamed for the period that I am no longer in the ICT when the people who took over to implement the program did not do so? Rio, who left the DICT in 2020, told Inquirer Net kahapon. Okay? Rio's remark comes after the House Committee on Good Governance and Public Accountability recommended that charges be filed against him for being the one who signed the financing agreement between the DICT and the United Nations Development Program for the government's free Wi-Fi project. Okay? So, kaya siyang sinisisi kasi siya yung pumirma. Okay? According to Rio, the Commission on Audit's COA report back in 2019 had already flagged the DICT regarding the transfer of funds to the UNDP. So, sinabi niya that they had already explained this to the COA, which was satisfied with the response. The COA was questioning why DICT transferred that amount to UNDP and why we did not do it ourselves. We explained that being a new department, we need the expertise of the UNDP. We were able to explain it. Okay? We were able to explain it to COA. Yan sinabi ni Rio. There was no action after our explanation to COA. Nasatisfy naman daw kasi yung COA sa kanilang explanation. So there was no further action, which usually takes the form of a notice of suspension or further a notice of disallowance. This was just a notice that we explained properly. So ang nakuha lang nilang memo from COA is na nag-agree naman na nakapag-explain sila ng tama. Okay? Rio questioned why shortcomings on the program were being blamed on him when he already left the department nga in 2020. Rio nonetheless said he is ready to face the charges that will be lodged against him. The program has experienced several setbacks, such as Speedcast filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Imagine yung inawardan na Australian firm nag-file ng bankruptcy. Undervaluation on shipments of telecommunications equipment and issues on site selection for the Wi-Fi spots. So yan ang mga naging problema at setback. Yung undervalued yung mga telecom equipment. Tsaka issues dun sa mga kung saan lalagay yung mga cell site, no? So, Ang naalat pala dyan ay 1.36 billion yata. Okay? 1.36 billion. Yes. Okay? Yan ang originally naalat. Okay? Para sa project na ito. Okay? The committee said but the DICT committed, some anomalies when it entered into the financing agreement with the UNDP for the implementation of the free internet program. Again, okay, sinabi ni Rio na satisfied naman daw yung COA sa kanilang report. So, at saka hindi siya binigyan ng memo to say otherwise. Okay? The COA kasi was questioning why the ICT nga transferred that amount to UNDP. There was no action after the explanation to COA, sabi ito ni Rio. There was no further action. And then he also pointed out that the ICT Secretary Gringo Honasan even inaugurated the program. So bakit siya lang daw yung fina-fault, right? In 2018, the DICT and UNDP entered into a financing agreement aimed at rolling out free Wi-Fi sites at selected locations to benefit remote communities, okay? In 2021, the House Committee investigated the program following delays and setbacks in its implementation. Tapos yun na nga, nag-file ng bankruptcy yung speed whatever company na yan in Australia. So hindi natuloy, right? Nakatenga. Okay? In 2021, the House Committee investigated the program following delays. Following a series of hearings, the committee recommended that charges be filed against Rio, finally, as the signatory of the DICT-UNDP partnership for violations of the Anti-Graft and Corruption Practices Act and Code of Conduct and ethical standards for public officials and employees over the alleged irregularities in the implementation of the free internet program. Rio left the DICT in 2020. Honasan took over the program. Congress started an investigation on the program, and around April of last year, a year after he left the ICT because it was not rolling out as scheduled and because of other issues. Rio was wondering why he was being blamed for the project's implementation when he had left the ICT in 2020. Nonetheless, Rio said he is ready to face the charges that we filed against him. I'm just waiting for the formal charges, and that's where I will explain and answer. Okay? So that's the story regarding the funds, this merger between the ICT and UNDP in rolling out this Wi-Fi project or free internet. Lungkot naman, no? Sana na lang nung New Year may free internet na sa Pilipinas, wala. See? Nakatenga. Dahil yun na nga, nag-bankrupt yung Australian company. That's so weird, right? Oh well. Okay. More on the Philippines. Yeah, those people, okay. Sa travel naman tayo, right? Sa travel tayo. Sa travel, okay. Let's talk about traveling nowadays. Yun nga, nag-increase na ulit yung mga quarantine days on most countries because of the fast surging of the Omicron infections. Okay? So sa Pilipinas, is your passport expiring soon? Well, ang DFA po or Department of Foreign Affairs will be working under skeleton force until January 20 lamang po. So kung kayo po ay nagpapaayos ng passport or kumukuha ng passport, you only have until January 20 before the DFA turns into a skeleton workforce again. Okay? So, I'd like to share to you the application schedule. The Department of Foreign Affairs is temporarily suspending its operations starting January 12 to January 20 pala. Oh my God. So, starting today hanggang January 20, wala pong magpa-process ng mga application nyo sa DFA. Okay? The agency shared that they will be working under a skeleton workforce and the surge of COVID-19 cases in the country kasi. Because as the surge of COVID-19 happens in our country here. Okay? With that, the Office of Consular Affairs, or OCA, several consular offices and appointments under temporary off-site passport services will be rescheduled. So, kawawa naman yung mga na-schedule this week hanggang next week. Na-bump off po kayo. Okay? Listed below are the affected consular offices and passport service sites closed from January 10 to January 12. In other words, tung Wednesday na to hanggang Friday, wala pong opisina ang DFA. So, ano-ano mga opisina itong naapektuhan? Okay, CO La Union. Okay, 10 to 14th of January po ang Office of the Consular Affairs Office. Sa La Union, January 10 to January 14 lang po ang lockdown nila. Okay? Ano ba tayo ngayon? 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 10, 11. January 10 to 12 lang pala naman. So, bubukas na pala. Bukas. Yeah. Yeah. So, hindi pala till the end of the week. Hindi. Ba yan? Na-confuse na ako. Hanggang January 20, Skeletal Force. Okay? So, yung mga closed talaga from January 10, which was Monday to today, yung sa La Union. Tapos yung CONCR East at CONCR North. Okay? Tops Robinsons na Baliches. So hanggang bukas po sarado. Hanggang today. Wala, sorry. Meanwhile, these COs and TOPs are closed. Ito naman ang mga closed starting January 12, today hanggang 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, hanggang January 20. Itong mahaba-habang sarado. DFA Office of Consular Affairs in Asiana Business Park, Paranaque. Yung sa may Soler. Sarado po from today hanggang next week. Okay? Hanggang next Wednesday. Right? Ano ba ngayon? 12, right? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hanggang next Thursday. Okay? Sarado. Sarado today hanggang next Thursday yung DFA office na malaki dyan sa Asiana Business Park sa Paranaque City. Yung malapit sa Soler nga. Ano pang sarado? CONCR Central, CONCR Northeast, CONCR South, CONCR West, CONCR Antipolo, Angeles, Baguio, Dasmariñas, Cavite, Iloilo, Lucena, Malolos, San Pablo, Laguna, Tops Newport Mall, hindi naman yan sa may casino area, Tops Robinsons Las Piñas, Tops Robinsons San Pedro, Laguna, Tops SM Manila, Tops SM Mall of Asia, and Tops SM North EDSA. Lahat po ng establishments na yan or mga pisina ng Consular Affairs po ay sarado from January 12 today hanggang January 20 next week. Okay? Yan po. Meanwhile, for valid emergency passport operations, okay, the DFA also refers to the following contact numbers. Passport po. Email po ay passport.inquiry@oca or oca.dfa.gov.ph. Ulitin ko lang po lamang para sa mga passport concerns po. Mag-email po kayo sa passport.inquiry@oca.dfa.gov.ph. Okay? Ang mga telepono po, numero ng telepono, 0969-501-9426, 0919-889-3253, or 0927-693-7601. Ulitin ko lang po, 0969-501-9426, 0919-889-3253, and 0927 Globe naman, 693-7601. Okay. Authentication and apostille, email to authentication.inquiry@oca.dfa.gov.ph. Okay, ulitin natin po. At ako'y nabubulol-bulol. Authentication.inquiry@oca.dfa.gov.ph. At ang numero 0969-301-5034. Ayan po ay para sa mga passport na pangangailangan. Ito naman po tungkol sa visa to the Philippines. Email visa.inquiry@oka.dfa.gov.ph. Okay? Alright. Ito namang civil registry sa mga mag-aasawa and all. Email them at civilreg or civilreg civilreg.inquiry.oka.dfa.gov.ph. Okay? If hindi nyo po, na-miss nyo po itong mga information na to, feel free to messenger me. Mag-send po kayo ng message sa akin sa Messenger or sa aking Facebook account or dito mismo sa Broad Stream Cast Communicators. Okay? Okay? Meanwhile, the rest of DFA's operations will resume on January 21, 22. Kasi nga hanggang sa 20 lang yung suspension or pagsasara. Okay? Alright. Salamat for that information. Okay. So, good. Now, let's talk about my laptop hanging. Okay. Alright. Filipino ingenuity naman tayo, ha? Let's talk about Filipino ingenuity. Alright? I found out about this. It's very cool. Hold on a second if I can actually get back to it. Alright. Hold on. Final report. Okay. Okay. Kanina I was saying, okay, the final report on alleged hacking to be released this week. Sabi ito ng COMELEC, okay? The Commission on Elections will release this week the final report on the alleged hacking of their servers. Hindi pa po na-gather yung much information, kaya hanggang end of this week na lang po tayo mag-antay. Kasi before the weekend, we will release a final report that on that because the meeting with all our different units will only start itong umaga na to. Ito sinabi ni COMELEC spokesperson James Jimenez. Okay? He said the validation is still ongoing. We want to know if there's really a data breach. We don't see any evidence of data breach. Sinabi niya. On Monday, the poll official said they are already validating the allegations of the article published by the Manila Bulletin, specifically whether COMELEC systems have in fact been compromised. The article alleges that the hackers were able to download files that included, among other usernames and pins of vote counting machines, VCM. The fact, however, is that such information still doesn't exist in COMELEC systems, simply because the configuration files, which includes usernames at mga password, have not yet been completed. Hindi pa pala kompleto. This calls into action a question the veracity of the hacking claim. So, kasi anong hihahack nila kung di naman pala maraming data? He said that also important for the poll body to verify such a report. Okay? When you say data breach in COMELEC kasi, people will really get nervous. That's why it's important for us that we validate, and in case the report is wrong, of course, someone will be responsible. So we have to validate kasi nga ang daming fake news na kumakalat. No? So before we validate or before we repost information, please make sure that sinabi natin niya kahapon, di ba? How to avoid yung mga hacking and all. Verify your information first. No? Pag po kayong maging complacent dyan or naniwala na lang sa lahat ng nababasa sa online. No? Because all of a sudden, they can just come up with something. Sa galing ng teknolohiyang ngayon po, pwede talaga magsabi ng fake news. Okay? So, yun lang po. No? Wala pang final information regarding the hacking of COMELEC. Okay? Nakuha na natin yan, right? Balita na magandang balita tungkol sa medicine. Okay. Lifestyle naman po tayo, no? Proud tayo kasi, right? Meron pong Filipino, dahil to sedentary life na ginagawa natin, right? Meron pong Filipino na nakapag-invento. Tawag nila butt care kasi this is regarding, hold on a second. No, okay. Here, ibubukas ko na nga ulit kasi nawala eh. Okay, let me just show you what it is. Tapos na tong house panel light. Ito na tayo sa Filipino ingenuity. Tada! Kita niyo ba yan? Sa upuan yan. Di ba sa Tagalog, ang tawag sa chair, sa lumpwet? Yan, sasalo talaga yan yung pet. Right? Okay. Sitting a lot due to pandemic, Pinoy inventor devises a new normal butt care. New normal butt care. Diba? This is fresh from the news, okay, written and reported by my colleague, Miss Maridol Renoa Bismarck sa philstar.com, okay. Inventor Bart Ronquillo created Sayati-Guard, a customizable orthopedic seat cushion one can put on the computer chair, car seat, and others. It aims to distribute the weight from the sit bone, the ischial tuberosity, to the hip bone, greater trochanter, to enhance comfort and to relieve pain from prolonged sitting. Oh my God, I need this so badly. The work and study at home setup has made us more sedentary than ever. We sit in front of the computer to work and watch Netflix on the couch. We don't go outdoors as much, di ba? Hindi tayo naglalabas kasi nga sedentary life, social distancing. Atong for the past 2 years, kagaya ko po, ay nakaupo lang most of the time. Kaya nga, di ba po, lumala yung aking ACL sa right knee ko na nagsisetin po, nagiging osteoarthritis at nakagbo-bone to bone na ang sakit talaga po, right? So, and I'm actually scheduled to do a knee replacement soon because sobrang sakit po and I have to sit all day and work. I was trying to get a hydraulic table para minsan nakatayo ko, pero yun din, masakit na rin yung likod ko and I have herniated discs when I stand. So what is a poor girl to do, right? Ayun, change your knee. Ngayon ang ano doon, eventual thing, palitan yung aking tuhod. According to a pandemic study by the Pennington Biomedical Research Center that surveyed close to 8,000 people from 50 different countries and every state in the United States from April to early May 2020, okay? And this survey found out that around 27% said they gained weight during the initial lockdown. Totoo naman po, dinadala ko pa rin po yung weight gain na yan. That's 10% more than those who said they lost weight. The added pandemic pounds, said Makati Medical Center, in a press statement, is a consequence of unhealthy habits like sedentary living, constant exposure to stress, and a diet of processed foods and refined carbohydrates. Ayun na nga yan, yung mga snack, yung mga junk food, na may tendency tayong kainin habang tayo nagtatrabaho na nakaupo sa harap ng computer. But by being sedentary, we are creating a new problem, diba? In our attempt to avoid a raging health issue. Habang nagproprotekta tayo sa COVID-19, hindi naman natin naproprotekta ng tama kasi nga, we're eating unhealthily, right? We are exposing ourselves to the dangers of prolonged sitting, which Dr. James Levine, director of the Mayo Clinic Arizona State University Obesity Solutions Initiative, described as the new smoking. Oh my God. Okay? Mayo Clinic said, too much sitting can lead to sciatica, which produces pain in the lower back, totoo na nga, hips, the buttocks, and on each leg. Totoo naman talaga, lahat yan. All of the above po, in-experience ko po ngayon. Inventor Bart Ronquillo, founder of Shark Philippines, knows the disease inside out. Sabi niya, 5 years ago, nagkaroon siya ng worst case of sciatica. Yung sciatica po, yung lumalakad na pain mula sa paa hanggang sa gilid ng side ng ano mo, sa thigh. Ang sakit po talaga nun. Desperate, okay? So he experienced 5 years ago the worst case of sciatica. Okay, you're asking what sciatica is? Okay, somebody text me, alright? Sige na nga, sabihin na natin para malinaw, okay? Sciatica po is a pain affecting the back, hip, and outer side of the leg, caused by compression of a spinal nerve root in the lower back, often owing to degeneration of the intervertebral disc. Yun na nga, ako may herniated discs po ako, aside from my pilay. So, sobrang talagang feeling lola na ako as well, kahit may mukha. Anyway, pero I can feel it. Well, like I said, in my family po kasi meron ng weak bones. Hereditary po yan talaga eh. And in fact, 2 of my siblings already had spine surgery on their herniated discs po. Mga 3 years ago. Yung mga bunso po namin yan ha. Sabi nga ng ortho namin, ano ba daw yung bones namin made in China? Hi, sorry. But yun ang sinabi niya. So anyway, so sciatica is the pain affecting the back, hip, and outer side of the leg. Alright? At ganun po yung kasakit. Okay? So itong nag-invento nito, okay, si Bart Ronquillo, he had sciatica 5 years ago. He couldn't walk because his legs were paralyzed. Ayun pa worse, ha? He can only sit for 5 minutes before an excruciating nerve pain sets in. Ako nga minsan bigla na lang kikirot eh. He was hospitalized for 7 days on the week of his birthday. Oh my God, hospitalized pa siya. Desperate for a solution, he bought almost all orthopedic seat cushions here and abroad. He tried at least 25 seat cushions, some of which cost as much as $100 to $150 each. Diba, mahal? He thought it would alleviate the pain and make him productive as an entrepreneur inventor again. I mean, guilty ako of that po niya. Mas lahat na lang ng rubbing thing, lahat ng, can I show you all the things that I have bought to ease the pain? Ito po, I bought these pads na irarap niyo sa ninyo. Meron methermalin sa likod na when I put it around my knee, umiinit po yan para nagbabawasan yung swelling, nababawasan yung pagkamaga po. Pag sinuot ko po ito sa aking knee. Tapos kung ano-ano pa, in-order ko online, itong ginger oil na ito, nasabi daw, mawawala yung sakit. Hindi naman totoo. Hindi po. Hindi naman nawawala at all. But anyway, so I'm guilty of trying to try everything to alleviate the pain and the swelling that my knee experiences. Okay? So, itong si Bart, right? Si Bart Ronquillo was desperate for a solution. So, we also sought safety in numbers by joining several support groups. Ako nga rin, kung ano-ano yung tinitingnan ko online. Tsaka nag-therapy po ako. I've been undergoing PT sa Active Life dito sa Pampanga. Okay? A shout out to my therapist, Lizette. But kasi I was doing that for like more than 6 months till one day after I came from my Active Life therapy talaga. When I got home and then I worked, okay, sitting down, hindi ako makatayo. At hindi ako makatayo ng diretso. I was parang feeling kuba ako talaga. Saka yung knee ko was bent already. And then, so I really had to see an ortho already. Sinabi naman ng therapist ko, magpa-check up ka na, ma'am, bago ka magpa-PT ulit. And true enough, yun na nga. It was really bad. Nagbo-bone to bone na kasi yung knee ko. And I was suggest niya, kasi temporary lang yung mga hyaluronic ba, na lalagyan ng liquid, injection na mahal din, it's like 25,000 an injection, or mag-PT, sabi ng ortho ko, all temporary. Anong solution dyan? Para mawala na yung sakit at makalakad ka ng diretsyo, is a knee replacement, which is what I'm going to do. So, itong si Ronquillo, na-hospital na siya, tapos he joined support groups. This made him understand the nature of his suffering even more. He learned that each of us has an intricate, complex web of nerves. Ako, yung threshold of pain ko, ang taas na po talaga because I don't want to take pain medicine because that cost me talaga GERD and hyperacidity at saka acid reflux. Each nerve can be injured differently. When this happens, they become very sensitive and relief must be immediate. Sabi ni Renquillo, he also learned that from the support groups that cushions have a fixed contour that can only provide temporary relief. Before long, the nerves are irritated and trigger pain again. It is a never-ending cycle of pain. Yes, tell me about it because that's what I experience every day. Hello, Tita Heidi Lakap, who's watching. We miss you po. Sabi niya, pupunta kayo ng Manila pag ma-booster. Inantay po namin kayo. Hello, Tita Heidi Lakap. Tita Agnes Lakap. And of course, hello also to Tita Heidi. And si Celsa Del Coro, Tita Baby Del Coro. Hello to you guys. And to Tita Agnes at saka mga kasama niya po sa bahay dyan sa Batangas. Hello po. Hello po everyone. So sabi ni Bart Ronquillo, who's an inventor, okay, he claimed that to have consulted a lot of physical therapists, chiropractors, orthopedic and nerve doctors who gave their own regimens and recommendations. So he took the matter in his own hands. He created Sayatigard, itong nasa picture po, okay? Itong kinreate niya for the butt. Okay? Para upuan. Ito po. Ayan, no? Ayan, no? Salumpwet. Tama siya nilang salumpwet ang tabog sa silya sa Filipinos. Okay? Okay. He created Sayatigard, a customizable orthopedic seat cushion one can put on the computer chair, car seat, and others. It aims to distribute the weight from the sit bone to the hip bone. Available online in the Sayatigard Facebook page and Shark Philippines. Sayatigard aims to distribute body weight, thereby aiming to prevent numbness from prolonged sitting and can be adjusted accordingly to one's sitting position. It is foldable and easy to carry, has an adjustable strap and anti-slip grip underside fabric. It has 3 levels of firmness: soft, medium, and firm. The firm ones are for people who weigh 250 pounds and over. The medium seat is for those weighing 190 to 240 pounds, while the soft version is recommended for those who weigh 120 to 190. Okay? Thanks to Sayatigard, yung buhay ni Bart finally returned to normal daw. Okay? He was able to drive and ride a plane again and return to his work table. And since he always takes the seat cushion with him, it has become a conversation piece among friends and family. Ako po to. Ito po. Ako naman gumagamit ng Backjoy. Ito po nakalagay sa aking seat. This courtesy of my dear brother Julius Bautista, who happened to have had the surgery on his back na. So binigay niya sa akin, pinamana niya sa akin. Dati rin meron akong din back brace. Para pinalik ko na yun sa kanya, pero ito po yung ginagamit ko. Ito yung Backjoy. Siguro parang ganito rin yung premise mo. Kaya lang, itong Sayatigard, parang sa butas sa gitna, tapos yung mga cheeks ng butt ang sinasalong, right? So anyway, 2 taxi drivers he gave Sayatigard to were so grateful, they repeatedly sent text messages to Rinquillo to show them how much they appreciate itong kanyang invention. And on that note po, no, napakabilis ng time. It's already 11:58. And I'd like to thank all those people who watched us today. At maraming salamat po sa mga source natin po ng information today. Itong Philstar Globe was written by my good friend and colleague Maridol Rinoa Bismarck sa philstar.com. Okay? Thank you for joining me today. And of course, sige pa rin, patuloy pa rin po ang ating pag-protect ng ating mga sarili. Doon towards the virus po na Omicron na kumakalat ngayon, and then we're trying to not be on ECQ or alert level 1. Ano ba, pababa pa patas? Kalimutan ko. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. Maraming salamat po, and please enjoy your lunch, okay? And positivity po all the way, and always please remember always that at the end of the day, 3 things should remain in our lives, and that is faith, pananampalataya, hope, pag-asa, and love, pagmamahal para sa lahat. Thank you very much. This is Jay Bautista po for Buhay Online with you this Wednesday. Wala po si Shrey Sharma that is supposed to join me today kasi po siya po ay experiencing flu and fever and hopefully not COVID. But thank you very much. Have a good day po, and thank you. Magkita-kita po tayo ulit bukas. Maraming salamat!
Inyong natunghayan at napakinggan ang mga makabagong pamamaraan sa mundo ng online sa pamamagitan pa rin ng Broad Stream Cast Communicators. Hanggang sa